Hello, I'm Father Sam. I'm a TikToker, and this is my story. So if you would have told me even just 5 years ago that I would have been a famous TikToker speaking Cebuano here in the Philippines, I would have never believed that. I've really come to learn and to see that God is a God of surprises. And so I just kind of go along with it, and I've been having a lot of fun. I really think that evangelizing on social media, sharing the gospel message on social media, is something so important today. Because especially our youth, they are on social media all the time. It's really where they live so much of their relationships and their life today. And instead of kind of automatically labeling that as something bad, which in a way, I mean, there are many risks involved, right, in the usage of social media. But I think it's precisely for that reason that the church, that we have to be on social media. I've heard so many testimonies of people who have seen my videos who literally have told me like, Father, I came back to Mass because of a video that I saw that you posted on Facebook, that you posted on TikTok. I haven't been to confession in years and years and years, and I came back thanks to your videos. And it's when I hear that I'm like, okay, this is really important. I need to keep doing this. It really took me a while actually to kind of be convinced of that truth that like we really have to evangelize on social media. For many, many years, I was much more thinking that the Lord would use my musical talents to evangelize. I was a violinist, I was a songwriter, and for a while I was actually making music videos and publishing albums. And it was kind of funny because I was like, why aren't these projects kicking off? Like, why aren't people really seeming to like them a lot? But then I decided, I was like, you know what, maybe I should start posting a Sunday gospel reflection on my social media channels so that my followers have something, like regular content instead of me posting songs every week, which takes a long time. And it was when I started doing these Sunday gospel reflections, and there was one Sunday especially that I tried in Cebuano, and that video went viral, and here I am today. When I posted that first video that really went viral and I was so surprised, I remember me and my friends sitting on the top of the roof deck here at the Faith Hub, just watching the views, just skyrocket. And I was like, I just can't believe this. Like, it really got me thinking like how much there is a great need for evangelization in Cebuano in today's world. And I really thought about it, like how few content creators have ventured into this area of evangelization, which is so important. There are so many English Catholic content creators out there, which I support and I love. And I just feel so honored to kind of be, I think, one of the first ones to really kind of venture into this new language. There are millions and millions of people who speak this language. And the faith, when it's proclaimed in our mother tongue, just hits differently. And I think that's why I got a little bit famous pretty fast, because there was precisely such a big need for that. And for me, when I see that need, when I see that the people really are like waiting for me to post and really love my posts and watch my posts, for me, I can really say that it gives me so much of a much more firm foundation in my own mission as an apostle. Like to be like, no, I have a real mission that if I don't do this, maybe someone won't hear the gospel message proclaimed. And so it gives me kind of this, it's a bit daunting sometimes, like a very big responsibility, right? Like, I have an impact on people's lives, but I'm also so thankful for that, just for my own personal religious life, like me as an apostle, to have that responsibility and to know that if I don't do this, who's gonna do it? And that's really cool. One great joy that I have discovered as I venture into this new way of evangelizing through social media is that it is so beautiful just to follow God's will. To follow His guidance. I kind of had this image of that I knew how God was going to use me as an instrument. And yet I think the way that He looks at us is just so powerful. What He sees in us is often blinded to our own eyes. And where He calls us, sometimes we just don't really know what's going on. But I can really testify to the fact that when we really surrender ourselves to His goodwill and to His loving gaze upon us, and just to go along with that and to stay connected with Him in prayer, our lives are so beautiful. Things just happen, and it's just incredible to see how much He surprises us, and quite frankly, how much He loves us in that way. So obviously, I know that one of the things that kind of helps me and has helped me grow a lot on my social media is because, well, I'm an American guy who speaks Cebuano. So that's often the hook, right? It gets people interested. They're like, oh my gosh, this guy can speak Cebuano. That's really fun. But what I'm also very clear about in my mission is I don't want to be just another American influencer having fun in the Philippines, right? Which I think these guys are doing a great job. It's fun. But my mission is not to talk about how much I love the Philippines. Even though I do love the Philippines, I love living here. I've decided to live here, but that's not what I try to communicate. Like for me, it's very clear for me that my mission on social media, my content is to bring people to Jesus. If God uses the fact that I'm an American who speaks Cebuano, that's great. And if that's kind of what people first recognize, sure, that's fine. But I really try to go beyond that when I journey with my followers and in my content to bring them closer to Jesus and to bring them closer to his church and to feel more confident in their faith so that they also can become disciples and more fervent followers of Jesus and to experience that joy of being loved by God, just like I am loved by God. Yeah, I have hope in this young generation as I evangelize on social media because I see that they really engage with the content that I'm sharing. It's very interesting. I mean, not to compare generations, whatever, but like I noticed that a little bit of the older generation, what they'll do is they'll put tons of comments, hi Father, they'll like, and it's really fun. But usually what the youth will do is they'll get right to the core of the thing and they'll be the ones to ask like these very pertinent questions about the faith, especially on TikTok. I noticed that the youth are very active on TikTok. And for example, when I have a live on TikTok, every once in a while I'll have a live, and I love doing these lives because I always say, the title of my live is always Chika Sata, let's just talk. And they ask any question they want. And very often I get these real questions that I can tell that they're carrying for a long time and they just need to get them out. And I'm like, wow, if they have these questions now, if they're honestly searching for Jesus, even if we don't always see that, but if they're honestly trying to find questions, there is hope for the next generation and for the faith here. So people will often say, and it's true, that the Philippines is a Catholic country, right? It's a culturally Catholic country. And I'm so proud of that. But what I also notice in my life as a youth minister and also as a communicator on social media is that we have such an important role to play today in evangelizing our youth because there is such an influence, let's say, from outside. And I'm really convinced that if we don't pass on the faith in a very explicit way to our young generation today, in just a few generations, things could be very, very different here in the Philippines. And so I feel honored to be part of that movement of the new evangelization here. I also feel a little bit kind of daunted by this responsibility that I have, like with all of my followers and the impact that I'm having and that I hope to grow. But it is so important to do this in the Philippines today, even if it's a culturally Catholic country. So a lot of people know me through social media, and I'm really very blessed also to tell you that my life is so much more than just making content on social media. Yeah, that's a big mission I have, but I'm also very blessed to be a youth minister. I'm the youth coordinator of what we call the Faith Hub Cebu. It's where I live, and I spend lots of time discipling my youth, doing different events like Alpha, like Win Nights, and I facilitate those, I plan those, I attend meetings. Another thing I also do is I'm in charge of communications for our province, so the Brothers of St. John in Asia and Oceania. And then of course, I'm a priest, I'm a consecrated man. I spend a good part of my day in prayer. I really try to stay faithful to my prayer life. I read the Bible every day, I preach, I live a normal life also of a priest who administers the sacraments with great joy, and that will always be the heart of my vocation, no matter where I go and no matter what mission I have, is to share Jesus. What gives me the greatest fulfillment and the greatest peace and the greatest joy in my mission is not at all how many followers I have, how much money I'm making because of this, but most especially my relationship with Jesus and nourishing my relationship with Jesus. I know that is what is going to keep me happy until the day that I die. I know that I'm also a priest, I'm a consecrated person, and because of that, my life is beautiful. And if I stay close to Jesus, I will be happy, and I know that, and I love that. And that's my mission. That's why I do what I do.